Hello and welcome to Lincoln to Local. I'm Hannah Nemechek here with Leanna McNally after an interesting week at the state capitol. Leanna, Governor Fallin called state legislators back to the Capitol this week to again try to fix the state budget. Where are we at on a deal?
So after the cigarette tax was ruled unconstitutional by the Oklahoma Supreme Court, Governor Fallin announced a special legislative session to really address three issues: that $215 million gap for the state's budget, and efficiencies in government piece, and then also teacher pay raise. So really three items that she wanted to be addressed. The House and Senate have very different plans. They went in Monday to start to address that issue, and ultimately ended up kind of putting a halt on things in a stall while they really hammer out the details of the budget and their plans. So that's kind of where we are. Committee work is still available, but as of now, the House and Senate, their work on the floor is kind of in a holding pattern.
So as you said, the House and the Senate both have different plans. What do those plans entail?
The Senate plan is very different than the House plan. The Senate plan includes zero emission tax differences for credits and those types of things, which could potentially save some money. They also, which is biggest concern to our membership, is the 6-cent tax on gas and diesel. Really hits rural Oklahoma hard, particularly in the areas where folks drive further to and from school, to and from doctor's appointments, to and from sporting events. Really hits Oklahoma. So our membership is definitely watching that. Also, the Senate plan does address the cigarette tax and potentially a teacher pay raise as well. The House side of things takes a bit different approach. They want the cigarette tax and then maybe feel there's some room for potential cuts, smaller cuts in state agencies and borrowing rainy day fund money. So very different approaches. The Senate is more of a revenue designed approach. The House is still obviously interested in a teacher pay raise as well, but really two different approaches to solve this budget shortfall.
So we've seen a number of proposals that Farm Bureau members should be concerned with. What are those issues that have been brought up?
There's a bill particularly that I think our membership should be interested in. House Bill 1065 by Representative Eccles requires the state superintendent to provide a list of schools with 1,000 students or less to the state school board for recommendations on consolidation of administration as well as annexation of school districts. A very big issue for our membership in rural Oklahoma because that's kind of, in some instances, the lifeblood of a community, a school, the way their administration is operated, those types of things. So really our members are watching that closely. Also on the Senate side, there's been an expansion, a proposed expansion of ad valorem taxes to provide for teacher salary. This is an issue, Hannah, that's not going away. We saw it last session in a more municipal sense when they were trying to access ad valorem tax dollars for public safety districts. An issue that's really not going away as folks continue to try to obtain more money from property taxes for different functions of state government.
Thanks, Leanna, and thanks for joining us for an episode of Lincoln to Local.